Campaign
It is
3,
out
Chapter
on all
24.
digital music platforms under
And this is
Critical
my
Role.
very
So go buy it or
own
stream it.
reaction show
It's like
to the best Dungeons and Dragons players in the entire history of mankind. Besides
I'm
myself,
talking
of
about
course.
some new merch if that's
I
surprising
am
to any of
dying
you.
to run these guys through Lollipop City someday. But
Pins!
we'll see.
They're not shipping pins, and it's all of the EXP fam.
What?
The original EXP
I gotta clean the room,
yeah.
guys.
We got our jewelry.
And,
we got
I'll
our
be watching these
dairy.
guys and
We
having
got
fun. And
You're right.
they're doing ads.
That's me, I'm small.
A little fern.
Oh,
And
no.
don't forget, Opal.
Guys, I don't know.
Hey. Okay, and in addition to these beauties, which you can go check out right now, we also have this back in stock.
Let's go. Hell
It's
yeah.
like an updated version.
Critical
It's a
Role.
different material, but it's
Hey.
actually, I think, softer than the first.
That's
So-
impossible.
I know.
Person's pretty soft. That's
We've been
actually
at stock for a while, and I'm very happy we
While
have
we're
it.
listening to their ads, I'll share with you
And
what
in
happened
addition
to
to that,
me
oh, in addition to
just
that,
now.
we have new dice, but these
I
are
usually
special legend
don't
dice
have
back
time
in
to
the
run
day.
down to the bathroom to pee.
So here,
They
let's
should
oh, yeah.
either
Oh, they're beautiful.
out the
and
window
glowing and fabulous.
or in a bucket.
Swirly. Yeah.
Well,
And
I
the
peed in the
bag,
bucket,
I think
but
it's
it had a
really
hole
because
in
it looks like a little galaxy.
So the pee came out. Oh,
Just a little
and of
things, you know.
course,
Anyway, love you guys. Check it out.
my
There's
pants and everything. So it was a disaster.
Yeah. Oh,
And I am.
in addition to that, we
naked.
also have.
You can't really see it.
First night. I've never seen anything like it. Wow. Our first night of Avalier tea, made especially for EX2 Calamity.
Turn it upside down.
Can I have to?
Can I put it on? Sure, Ashley.
Yes. Wow.
You look so good in it. Anyway,
Promised you a tour of the house,
Marisha?
but I'm not gonna do that
Oh,
now.
yes,
I'm just
and then one
gonna
more
do a
thing
little
for me.
cleanup.
Oh my gosh, you
I'm
guys.
listening to the world, so I love these guys.
You're about to see
I'm gonna get some
our
dance
brand
because I
new
can't
opening
do this
title.
without dance. That's how
So
I turn.
excited, set to our theme
Meanwhile,
song.
enjoy
It's
Critical
Thursday
Role.
night. Big shout out to Minnow Mountain who helped us
Best
animate it
show on
and
television.
partnered with us. It's incredible. They're amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, just you know what? Just enjoy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Can we
Sounds
just
good.
watch it right now,
No.
too?
I believe that concludes our announcements. So let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Critical Role.
One by one we climb until we reach the top. Two by two we fall. Will we meet our end or meet our destiny? Hold your breath and roll. It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our ride. There is magic and mystery. Who knows what will happen? We might. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight.
From the healer to the renegade.
We all share the same goal. Adding more allies, taking more chances.
Hold your breath and
Roll. It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our ride. There is magic and mystery. From darkness, our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
And welcome back. So, last we left off, Bell's Hells have been hot on the trail of Armand Tresci after uncovering many of the misdeeds he had been attempting within the city of Drusar. With their alliance with Lord Eshtaros, they had helped place a platinum band that had been enchanted upon his ring at a bell, with the help of their Arashari friend, not Arashari, Arashari friend there, but Air Elemental. My brain totally. Wow.
What was his name?
Dorian. It would be easier to say his name, Dorian. Wow. Gone for a month, my brain's already melted. That one there, yeah.
That one there, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. It's a well-oiled machine. Way to come out strong, Matt. Fire. Sorry, I should have just started. So it works.
Everybody dies.
Tried and true. It works before it'll work again. I know. Man, I missed this. So yes, upon putting this ring upon Armand to keep tracking his whereabouts in the city, you left northward and returned a bit later to discover that he had left. He had fled the city southeast. You agreed to help Eshtaros in hunting him down, taking the orb that was affixed to the enchantment on this ring. To when you were within proximity, you would know the direction he moved from you. You went ahead and took upon the sky ship, known as the Silver Sun, and read southeast across the skies of the Hellcatch Valley towards the city of Bassaris, where it seemed Armand was laying low. Upon this trek, you did battle with a number of dangerous sky creatures. You helped defend a caravan that was being hunted by a wayward Dustra, a massive squid-like creature digging through the dust. And upon coming to the city itself at night, the skyship decided it shouldn't stick around, as this is not part of really any sort of approved air paths. Wow, I am done.
You're doing great now.
With the most necessary tools.
No,
Pair of pants.
we're calling it here.
A hammer. And a pea bucket.
Man.
That doesn't have holes in it.
Indeed. Had to watch me slowly melt down in real time. Upon coming to the
I love
outskirts
these
of
guys.
Bassaris, the
This is
ship leaves you behind within a
what
day's
friendship is all about.
journey, should you
You know?
require it to return and pick you up.
they don't know me.
Here you make contact
They don't-
with one of the many
They have
crawler
my phone
gangs that
number.
run the region
They'll
surrounding
call
the
me
city.
on Friday
Began
nights.
to mark continuous shapes and colors of
They've become a part of my
tattoo-based designs
life
that mark the
somehow.
Gajakantas,
Because of their
that kind of
friendship.
protect
Because I had
the
my
main guardian laws of the city. Upon walking into the center, you found yourself to the caravanserai, the Rahaden, purchased a night's rest, and then emerged to seek out the directional blip of
You see,
Armand's tracking signal in the orb that
The
you
war in
carry.
Ukraine.
On the way, you heard a scuffle in a nearby
Yeah.
alleyway and saw this individual Dusk
The
being harried
Marco
by a
War in
number of
Mexico.
ne'er-do-wells, cutthroats that were attempting to
everybody
take
killing
what
each
was
other
theirs.
for money and things.
You then
and
stepped into this alleyway and came to
somehow
their
these
aid,
guys
beating
are
down
just
these
playing
individuals
Dungeons and Dragons.
and leaving them behind
Cheers.
as you made
By the
your
way,
first
if you
encounter
want one of these
and
cups,
introduction with this character Dusk.
get in touch with me. I'll be happy to send you one.
Now, after having a brief bit of conversation, you decided to continue to pursue
For
the
a
directional
reasonable
draw
price.
of this arcane blip.
$20.
And along the way, it seems, in the southern direction of the
That's
city
it.
of Bassaris, there lay a particular tavern referred to as a Taste of Taldore that seemed to reside at least in a similar space of the region.
Lodna pulls out.
He's good.
Glow.
Mhm.
Has he moved?
Sam Riegel, man. He's
Best you can tell, it still seems the general same direction it was the night before you've been traveling, so not any major shifts in movement yet, no.
I mean, we can take a quick moment, right? To just go grab a bite to eat.
Everyone's gotta eat.
And this Taste of Taldore. Keep going. Sorry. Same place generally as Armand is? South side?
We wouldn't be heading the opposite direction.
You said we've walked up, right? Like made our way towards it.
You're heading in that direction, and those of you that know of the location is generally in the same direction you're traveling.
He might be heading to
Roberto
the same place.
Chan. Hola, Robin. Todo está más ordenado. Do a reaction and Vox back in a.
Steam.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No
Maybe,
better
but
choice
you know what?
than
I like the,
Plenty of Bassaris.
I mean, this is not
So
live.
you've
This is
been
actually pre-recorded.
Yeah,
They did it
I
live
like
on
to go and hang
Thursday.
out occasionally, you know.
Today's, I
It's
guess
nice when you have a
Monday.
local place that you can just
No,
kind of
Sunday.
be
But
familiar with, and people are familiar with
maybe I'll
you.
do a box
Does
back in a
everyone know
reaction.
your familiar
Thanks.
name?
Good idea.
Are they always glad you came?
I don't know. I don't always know. You know.
I feel like I'm learning so much about you so quickly.
Do they have a dress code? Are we underdressed or overdressed?
Oh,
Esos cuates de
We
Critical
definitely
Role
don't need a jacket.
son los mejores jugadores de Calabozos y Dragones en todo el planeta
I'm not
Tierra.
even sure you need shoes.
Son la crema de la crema
It's a
de
gift shop.
Is this like
Calabozos y
the
Dragones.
place where the servers
Lo
dress up
traduciría,
to look like?
pero es mucho trabajo y la
I
neta
feel
estoy
like
limpiando el
this is one
cuarto
of
y
those
haciendo
things you
otras
just have to
cosas.
see.
Entonces,
Yeah, that's true.
¿ven ese
You're
espejo de
absolutely
ahí?
right. No more
Ese
about
espejo ahí.
this. You'll all see for yourselves.
Let's go.
Es un espejo de Tezcatlipoca, el señor del espejo
I
Ned.
don't want to
Con
put a
un
damper
poco de
on
suerte
this good time. I
podemos
just would hate to have traveled all this way
ver
only for
algún fantasma o algo por ahí.
Treshy to get away because we're having a good time at a theme restaurant. You know what I mean?
A second to rest would not be a terrible idea. I hurt in a couple different ways, and I would.
Lechuza,
trade
never
that hurt for a
cry.
completely different kind
Oh,
of hurt.
lechuza, ese es el güey de...
A quick bite at Taste of Cowboy.
I'd also be curious to see
¿Diré
if
quién
the
eres
restaurant's
o no
on the
diré
south
quién
side
eres?
of town and Treshy is. We'll see if the direction changes at all once we're in really close proximity.
sé
So
quién
this
eres,
is more of a
pero no sé si
scouting mission. Then
Corder, güey, lechuza, Corder. Tienes muchos nombres, lechuza. Pero no voy a decir tu nombre verdadero todavía.
He's a regular.
Pon tu YouTube en este canal. Qué gusto que te conectaste a mi en vivo, viejo. Me da mucho gusto
Play it by ear.
escuchar de ti. Es un placer. Pero escucha a estos cuates.
I don't want to lose
Oye,
him, but
lechuza,
I'm very excited about seeing a gift shop.
¿Hubo juego el sábado? Se preguntó, ¿hubo juego el sábado? ¿Y cómo estuvo el juego del sábado?
Very well.
¿Lo grabaste? No lo he visto. ¿Lo grabaste? Si lo grabaste, voy a hacer una reacción del juego el sábado.
Southwestern side of
Entonces,
it.
si fueras sabio, lechuza, y estás en línea, haz una reacción de mi reacción a Critical Role.
Very duly done.
Eso sería un video muy interesante. Podemos hacer un tipo de
Pressing down the street,
conexión
the
aquí
bustling
tenebrosa.
midday road of Bathurst presents itself to you. All manner of interesting figures walking past. You can see cobbled together armor pieces and bits of like jagged metal placed in a
Editándolo,
defensive
estás
way to
editando.
go ahead and signal to you an immediate glance to do not touch and do not engage. And so the other figures that are coming along with carts and beasts of burden that are kind of pulling their way through the street. You can hear the squeaking of wooden wheels. What does catch your attention within a short jaunt further
Freshcut Class es un clérigo nivel
amongst
6
the roadways?
y es un automatón.
You see
Es
one
como
person walking
una
by, and
Warforged
behind them, an 8-foot
especial
tall,
de esta campaña.
hulking-looking
Jugado por
humanoid
Sam
figure.
Riegel.
The head itself seems
Muy
to be
interesante.
somewhat
Matt
barely
Mercer es
emerging
el
from
maestro de
an
calabozos.
egg-like
Es
torso
como
with just a singular gem in the center where a
Dios.
face would be. These two
Ahorita te
large,
digo
kind
los
of,
demás cuando vayan apareciendo aquí sus
stone
imágenes.
pillar-like arms swing side to side, while these three almost tripod-like legs clamber forward as it does. Each portion of its torso and its limbs are
Y voy a
mismatched
limpiar un
in
poco la
both
casa.
materials
Disculpen,
and
pero
design.
tengo que hacerlo.
You
Escuchen
watch as it kind of stalks by.
y observen.
It kind of has a weird hitch with every third step that kind of gives it an odd, almost like a limp presentation to it as it lumbers by.
Ahí está.
Is it accompanied by anyone?
There is one figure that's walking before it. You see what looks to be an older woman with a wet headscarf. Looks like it was soaked recently to help keep them cool, and wrapped around the face and around the neck, and kind of like has caused the cloth on their shoulders to darken with dampness. And as they kind of step to the left, you watch as it kind of follows in lockstep with them.
Fern
if I can catch up or
es
intercede,
una
I'd
druida
love to just run up to
ladrona
the
de
automaton
nivel
and
10,
say,
de nivel
"Smile a day to
6,
you?"
6, imagino yo.
Just doesn't acknowledge you.
Jugada por esta chica de aquí. Ahí tiene su
Where are you
nombre.
headed?
¿Cómo te llamas, niña? ¿Cómo te llamas? No, es que no me sé esto. A ver, Imogen, nivel 6, el hechicera es... Creo que esta es,
And you watch as the
Marisa.
person who's walking kind of
Marisa Ray,
turns
que es la
around a bit
esposa de
and
Matt.
gives you this kind of glaring eye,
Pero no me
or at
acuerdo
least the
bien,
direction of where you
tengo
were.
que checar todos Los nombres.
She keeps on walking forward.
Doesn't have those people skills that you do.
No, doesn't.
Did that one look like any of your siblings?
Some of my siblings were able to, ambulate in similar ways, but not exactly, no. They were a little smaller.
Are you also looking for the family?
Espérate, ¿quién,
Not as much.
esa chica oriental es nueva?
But you know what? I might see some folks here in town that I do recognize.
Ahora
So,
es
yes, in a
este
way.
cuate.
That one was real big. Are any of your siblings on that scale? I mean, we all had to travel together, so, we were lighter of foot and able to move a little
Deberían de
quicker
poner el
and
nombre
more
del
nimble
jugador, ¿no?
than
Con
that.
el nombre
But,
del
I've
personaje.
seen other ones that big before, especially around here. They make them from all kinds of parts and stuff. It's all scavenged and plucked together and whatever they can find.
Okay, so we're looking for a
Didn't
guy
Cafe?
that's a dot on the radar thing. And we're looking for any other robots.
Robots.
And
Es como
anything
Warforged,
else?
I've
Forge, pero
interjected.
son
I'm standing in
pequeños
front of the old
robots.
lady and her.
That's
the
basically
woman
okay.
and the robot.
As you kind of dart to cross the path, she stops, and the automaton also stops in lockstep with
I
her.
completely ignore her. And I look at the
Ashton es
robot.
este cuate.
Okay.
Smiley day to you. And I'm gonna try to speak telepathically to him.
Okay. You speak telepathically, you say smiley days to you?
Buen intento, chicos.
I'm just like staring him down.
Okay.
Porque mira, vas a desmadre.
There's no response.
Ajá.
The woman kind of turns her head towards you. Can I help you?
Eso tiene que desaparecer.
Oh, I was just remarkable instrument you have there.
Yes.
Barrer, limpiar,
Does he do anything without
depurar.
your go ahead?
No.
Right. He doesn't speak.
No.
Right.
He's a worker. And he works well for me. Because I paid enough for him. Now, if you could please move aside.
Thank you.
Of course.
Ask her how much.
Who just burped?
Down here.
Holy shit.
Matt, I didn't recognize any of the workmanship or build, did I?
I mean,
Just kind of looks generic, or
it looks fairly generic. Nothing that catches your eye. I mean, you've seen a number of different automatons and automaton makes in the city, mainly from the ends in the Sonyan Row, but like,
Oh, yeah.
it varies based on who's coming through, and sometimes when the materials are limited, they cobble together what they can. And we're up to
Sábanas.
well, thanks for trying.
Perro.
But it does remind me, there's some folks here that I do want to. After we find our target, there's some folks that I do want to talk to here.
All right. Sure. We can make that happen.
Great. Wish I could smell that burp.
You don't.
I wish I could.
Someday,
Someday.
we'll get you a sense of smell and you'll regret it.
scattered across the front of the dust and dirt before you. Somebody steps upon the front kind of brick walkway at the exterior of their doorway and just empties a giant urn of liquid that just scatters across the street in front of you. And by that time, you also hear about 2 or 3 blocks down the way this kind of like heavy metallic growling sound as you start seeing dust clouds kicked up. And intersecting with the main street that you're walking past, you see 3 skirmish cars kind of scoot by and begin to vanish into the distant sounds of the city. You see other folks kind of step out of the way as they scoot by, watch as they go, take a minute to collect themselves, and then continue on with the rest of their day. A short walk later, you watch at the buildings, many of which are a combination of old, weathered stonework that has been here a lot longer than you expected the city possibly to have been, as well as newer constructed structures that take all manner of dried, gathered wood and smaller bits of sandstone and rock that have been kind of masoned together to create ramshackle additions to the bare bones the city was built upon. One building stands out amongst the others. Between the colorful tarps and multitudes of long, thin cables that mark the intersections of the various walkways and roadways, the dangling lanterns between them, the scattered bits of jagged metal that dangle on line after line, that jingle in the wind like some sort of odd nightmarish chimes. Across the way, you see one massive, out-of-place building, built in a classic Taldore style, almost like Tudor type construct. You can see the roofs are painted far more violently brown than any natural wood should
420,
be.
guys.
The exterior is, you can see the cracks that have been patched time and time again and then repainted over. A coloration that denotes not a natural build, but something that is trying to desperately keep up with the age of time, like an older man trying to put on makeup to prevent from showing his wrinkles. On the outside of this, you can already hear music curling from the inside. It's almost like a jaunty violin with a faint drum kind of pop, 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 pop. There's some hitching posts immediately out front, past a couple of tents. And the front double doors, and it is like a hinged double door that enters the front. You can just barely see from the interior a faint bit of flickering lantern light.
Whatever sense of irony any of you may still hold, abandon it now, it will serve you not inside.
Welcome to a Taste of Taldore!
You step inside, and as the doors swing open behind you, immediately the smells catch you. The smells are a unique mingling of all sorts of baked breads and sweets, a mixture of cooked meats and rolled lettuce-based kind of meat-packed dishes. You can see there is a bit of almost an incense brazier on the opposite end that is burning and filling this kind of gentle smoke. And it's a bunch of things that individually are good smells. But when they mix together, it creates this almost Sephora-like blast from all different directions. As soon as you step through, there are a smattering of tables of all different makes and designs, all round, but you can see from different carpenters, there's not a single thread of presentation to these tables. Some with like melted wax and candles in the center of it, tankards and manner of decor that is reminiscent of non-Marquesian make. You can see banners and tapestries that hang from the high central walls that themselves depict decently created pieces of art that some look like they're portions of maps. Others are landscapes that some of you may find somewhat familiar if you took long to look upon it. But in the open way, there is a stairway that leads to a secondary balcony with a higher up table where you imagine the more esteemed customers may stay for a meal, overlooking the rest of the chamber. Here, you can immediately tell the clientele a bit sparse. Especially for first thing in the morning, no more than maybe like 7 individuals that are currently here. There is one bartender across the way, but you do see 3 servers are racing around and conversing merrily with the individuals, one of which you see is a young woman dressed in fine armor and like red silks, almost like a long robe with gold. You can watch as she approaches and serves a dish to a couple of customers and says, "And that is how Taldore greets the greats of the world," and steps back and continues back into the far chamber to retrieve another meal, while somebody else, you can see this man with a big, bushy, dark beard, his like sun-weathered skin, wearing a large kind of haphazardly made bronze crown, like a king's crown on his head, as he wields a large sword that he kind of drags behind him that you can tell is more for show than not. Steps to another table and goes, "And what, pray tell, do you wish to ask of King Dressig?"
No way.
By that I mean, what would you like to drink? And you see 2 gentlemen sitting at the table. I'm just gonna have some water for me. What do you want? And I said, I would like just whatever beers you have on tap. May the darkness of my reign bring you the drinks you require. He turns around and drags his sword back over to the bar and begins to set his orders in there. You can see now the music is not sourceless. there is a music box that is dangling from a rope that is kind of wrapped across it in two different directions. That just kind of sits, slightly sifting from the wind as it occasionally blows in. That appears to be producing a louder sound than you expect, though maybe not quite the most on key at times. And occasionally you watch as one of these servers has to walk up to it when the music stops and wind it for a second before it continues to emit its beautiful atmospheric song choices. As you stand there watching, another door opens, and the third server comes through. A tall Goliath figure, half giant in blood, wearing deep blues and whites. His face painted like a blue and white coloration, and himself wearing this tall crown of what looks to have been handcrafted clay, almost like icicles that point upward. There's some of them chipped and broken in places, and you can see it's been affixed and with wire in one or two spaces. Who turns to another table before looking at you. And who disturbs the realm of Erevan, the Rhyme Lord?
Oh no!
Oh yes.
Oh, we surrender.
Then you shall surrender into my realm by the great mirror of Everwatching.
Oh.
How many's in your party?
There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Eight now.
8.
Erevan requires 2 more chairs. And grabs 2 more chairs and drags them behind over to a table. Sets them up.
Or are these historical figures?
It's to a point.
Are they accurate?
No.
Are you from there?
Yeah.
Orm and I both are.
Oh my goodness! Do they actually have those kinds of fruity drinks? What are the fruity drinks?
We got fruity drinks.
I do wish to order of the Tal'Dorei Great Rum Extravaganza.
Do you all drink that where you're from?
Is that like your like the Ashari drink?
They bring that one in a fishbowl, right?
Pretty much stick to keto. But,
My lord, we do humbly request your cocktail menu as quickly as possible. Thank you, my liege.
Ah, well-mannered this one. He might survive my frozen death still. No. Waters. Ooh. Yeah, have a seat. And he goes and pulls out the chair. And you can see you're seated behind this massive, beautiful-looking mirror that has these kind of like intertwined ivy carving around the exterior of it. It has this kind of beautiful mid-forest aesthetic to it. It's kind of a little off-kilter, kind of facing towards the wall slightly, but like you're mostly before it and to the side. As Erevan turns back after you all have your seat, I decree you will have your menu shortly, and turns around and heads back to the bar.
You started talking differently. Why did you do that?
Oh, when in Tal'Dorei,
how are we supposed to talk here?
I don't know. How do people talk where you come from?
Kind of like this.
I know, it seems like they're very bombastic and
really loud.
enthusiastic.
I mean, I'm not a very good actor or orator, so maybe that's just me.
No, it feels pretty accurate to me.
Is that what they sounded like in Whitestone?
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, people don't go around with such enthusiasm on a day-to-day basis, of course, but I feel like, he's playing it up a little bit for the environment.
But if you did walk around with enthusiasm, I'm just really curious, what would the vibe be?
Maybe you'll see later.
Do you see any, knickknacks or design from where you're from Whitestone?
Hey, look around. Is there any Whitestone representation? Make a perception check. What are my stats? They're a lot lower than Paige's. 23.
23.
2.
22. All right. Glancing around, you do see of the many tapestries that are based around here, some of which that one has looks like a triangular mountain with like 2 hammers that cross over the front. You glance around and see one that shows the crest of a mountain. And then one you do see has a tree frame that kind of carries upward its roots and its branches reaching out with a sun above it. And you know this to be the crest of the Chamber of Whitestone.
Fully accurate, or is it the Legoland version like everything else?
Of your keen perception, you will notice that it is missing 2 of the stars, The coloration's off a bit, and it looks like it's been sun bleached to a point where the blue has now come to like a faded teal.
Yeah, they haven't updated it in like 75 years, but that's the old Whitestone crest right there.
So I've heard of King Dresseg, but who's our guy supposed to be?
Oh yeah, was it some wizard or something?
I genuinely fade out.
Aragon demands you decide on what you have to drink before you are frozen for all eternity.
Who are you and what have you done?
I am Erebon, the Rhyme Lord.
Rhyme Lord.
I am a great elemental deity that broke forth from the realm of ice and froze all of Taldori for many years before I was sundered and sent back to my realm. But there I wait plotting to bring you the finest in service here at a taste of Taldori.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Is this the kind of place where they cook the food at the table, or is that not this
I
place?
think if you get like some of the platters and things that they'll.
If you look on there are stars next to the ones on the menu that have a presentation.
Thank you.
More practical, they're worth it, trust me.
You should do one of the presentations.
There's also shareable.
Yes.
And your head.
Let's do one of those. I want one of the ones that come in the big trough bowls.
Do you want like a fire vibe or an ice vibe? I'm a big fan of the ice vibe.
Well,
Although they
we
got
have
a
an
few.
example of how the fiber is the Chroma Conclave. Get a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, Taldora's a big place. Is there any Zephyra or
And I hope the
Ashari
lights
themed
don't
drinks
go
on this cocktail menu?
On the cocktail menu, there is, it's called an Ashari Breezer.
We'll take 8 Ashari Breezers.
If they do, this is already on mine.
Druid magic.
Get a star.
Picking up wherever I left off.
Orthodox pepper poppers, please.
I'm not too worried about it.
I'll see if we have any left.
What is a disappearing
And
Singborn
the
sausage?
That's for our late night clientele. For the dinner menu only.
Cool.
Oh, how late are you open till each day?
We don't close.
Oh shit! We came at the wrong time.
Well, there's like a more limited menu as you get later, but they do have special things on it.
I just glanced back over at Imogen.
Oh, yeah.
Almost out of weed, guys. Need to get some weed.
Just kind of under the table.
Oh wait, you have.
Just, I need it. It's a little, the glare from the spotlights in here. I just need to see.
I should probably mention
While
this.
she's doing that, I'm just going to reach back and touch the mirror and see if it's double-sided. See if there's a reflection in my own thing. You know how you can tell if it's a double-sided?
Make a perception check. 13. I mean, it's hard to tell. It appears to. It's beautiful. Like of all the things that are here, this one, probably a lot of the money went into this. Whoever found it was very proud to put it on display. It has like a little bit of kind of smear on it, but it has this beautiful kind of twisting briar-like metallic sculpture frame to it, and it's about like 6 feet tall. Yeah, and it's affixed to the wall there. You're uncertain as to what the historical significance is of it, with your limited understanding of Tal'Dorei history. At the very least, it looks pretty.
Okay.
But you're uncertain if it's double-sided or not.
Okay. I hope that you'll all allow me to treat you for this one. I really do appreciate you all coming to my aid.
And this is, gives us an opportunity to you don't seem like you're in a hurry or anything, but you're looking for family?
Well, it's kind of. I'm looking for people that helped me.
Helped you how?
It's a new character.
Stay a while.
Oriental girl. I'm not sure what her name is or what her
or to get here.
Both.
It's brand new.
They show me around, and then they help me find a way back here. I don't know if I made the right decision leaving or not, but they were very kind to me.
Who are they?
I have and I pull out. I have a little locket, and I open up, and there's a picture
of one person or two?
Of two.
Okay, where are they?
Of
There are two figures. While they're kind of like a gently drawn painted portrait. Both of them are unfamiliar to all of you except for you.
Lore.
There is 2 familiar portraits of the Calloway parents that birthed you.
The Calloway parents? Her parents.
Oh. How do you know them? From the Feywild. Do you know them?
Yes. Yes, those are my parents.
What?
Wait, I don't understand. What do you mean you saw them in the Feywild?
Yeah. They helped me get back to this other side.
Recently?
Well, kind of little fucky, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I've been, and I know that they're somewhere around here.
They're here?
I think so.
They came through with you?
We got separated.
How?
Here in town.
I don't know how faith bullshit works.
But did you get pulled apart there or here?
On the way through the portal.
Okay, wait, so like some context. Were you running from something? Was it a very leisurely trip? Were you in a rush?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I was there. And it was amazing, and it was incredible, but it's really fucking scary over there.
Oh.
There's all sorts of politics and like lights everywhere. It's beautiful and amazing, and I just wanted to be there forever, but also I don't know how much time has passed since I went there or since I've come back. And so this really lovely couple took me under their wing and showed me around and showed me how to get back. But I guess the portals are just unpredictable.
Oh, shit.
They're your parents?
Yes. May I see that a little closer?
Yeah.
Did they talk about their daughter?
No. They didn't say anything about having a daughter. They told me that they felt like, it's not important, but it's, do you know where they are?
I don't know where they are, and I've been looking for them, but maybe they just forgot. 'Cause it's been a very long time since I've seen them.
Well, you don't seem like the kind of person that somebody would just forget.
Well, do they look the same in the picture, older or younger than I remember them?
These particular portraits are copies of portraits that you recalled at a young age. So these are them in their prime.
Well, this is Mama Birdie, and this is Papa Ollie. And they're very wonderful, but I haven't seen them in a very, very long time. Probably about, maybe like 90 years. So something like that.
Fern, is that how they looked when you last saw them, or are they?
It's hard to tell. Yes, but this is a drawing, so they could look. Did they look like this?
A little older.
Did you do this wonderful drawing, or did they give it to you?
I got it from them.
They gave you a drawing of themselves to remember them? To find them? You were that close with them?
With them. How long were you in the Feywild? Do you know?
I feel like I have lived 1,000 different lifetimes in there. Or maybe just one long one.
Also, maybe we covered this and I missed it. Where were you before?
So maybe start at the top and sort of take us through.
It's all no, I don't know. Time dilates weird, and memory is weird, and that's why these things that I have on me, the sword, the portraits, and them, they're the only things that really feel real still.
You feel real? Does she feel real?
Yeah, sure.
You feel real? That's good.
Can I use my Hunter's Bane to look at Dusk with knowing that she's been in the Feywild that long and just see if I notice anything about her, her clothes, her rapier, anything that sticks out as like Fey?
Make a perception check.
Where there's original dice? Shout out Cody Jacobson. Fuck, that's a 1. It's not good as a word. There's a oh, but I have advantage.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, that's cocked. 20. 14.
14. I mean, the weapon that Dusk carries definitely has a face-centric design to it. It has a natural, a beautiful but natural design. The how it flows, the crystals kind of like give this natural sense to it. You'd almost feel like it was pulled from the earth if you couldn't see like the finer details that were handcrafted. Yeah, there is a hint of Fey essence to the way they present themselves. Like design and clothing has some elements to the overall presentation of the smaller details.
Maybe after we've got 100 years, maybe we can do like a little test or like do like a little survey to see what world events you remember, and although you don't remember them, so maybe that's a bad idea.
Remember being a little kid? Do you have any little kid memories?
Yeah, but also I don't really process them chronologically.
Are you from the future?
Understand.
You do?
It's kind of how time works, I guess, where we're from. It's kind of...
Well, I think... Sorry, Fern, but I think when people from here go there for a brief time, like there's a little bit of soupiness. But maybe if you go for a long time, it's exponential. Gumbo.
Very long time.
A heavy table hits the center of the table, and there you can see upon it, or a plate hits the center of the table, and you can see a cluster of small dough balls as Erevan takes a deep breath and just breathes a gout of flame that sprays across and kind of singes the exterior of it.
Takes a lot for an ice beam to breathe fire. Thank you. Now enjoy the conclave, Thordax, fire peppers. And your breezers. Puts the drinks out there.
Please describe the presentation of the Ashari Breezer.
Yes.
There wasn't a star next to hers.
It's just you ordered something that doesn't have a star.
Maybe you could get a souvenir cup.
Is it? Yeah, is it?
I wanted a mother souvenir cup.
Does it have a flashing light cube in it? What's it look like? What's it look like?
There are souvenir tankards you could take with you on the way out. They, I will bring some if you'd like to see at the very end of your meal.
Right. Yeah. But you as a DM, what do you look like?
It hasn't presented to me yet.
Oh, I thought you said here's the Ashari Breezers.
The Ashari Breezers are the drinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they don't come in.
They don't come in like collector's cups.
Right.
It's just a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it blue?
Oh, she was asking for the coloration of the drink. I'm sorry. I was misunderstood the scenario.
There's umbrellas. Are there little like hang gliders? Zippers and hang gliders in them?
So for the breezers, they're inside the small clay mugs, and at the very top you can see it's like a faint bluish green, almost like a Midori you know, kind of coloration to it. It has a bit of fizz to it. You can see it's kind of like popping with some sort of aerated, you know, yeah, it's been
You
carbonated.
just killed me and brought me back to life. I thought it was like, it's just a small clay. It's a carpenter's cup. It doesn't warrant a fancy drink. But it's beautiful.
It is. It's beautiful, and it's not quite as overt. But when you take a look at subtleties of it, quite nice.
Feels really natural in your hands. You can tell it kind of speaks to where you're from.
No place like home, especially this place.
Ding, 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 ding. A big bell at the bar begins ringing loudly, and the music from the music box immediately stops, and someone gets out a horn and goes,
Yeah.
and you watch, and everyone turns around, kind of looking, well, not everyone, a few people turn around and look, and everyone are like, also drink heavily. And the barkeep behind you can see is an orcish gentleman stands up at the top and goes, "Hearken to all friends here! It looks like a great conflict comes to the taste of Taldore! A historical moment!" And you see from behind one of like the doorways that has a large piece of cloth that just kind of protects it. You see the individual dressed as Drasig is like putting on some armor and comes out with a sword that's like plainly like not sharp at all and goes, "Aha! This realm is mine to rule, and I will. You shush your mouth or be slain by the Dark King Warren Drasig."
He's calling you out.
"Now kneel before me," and suddenly behind, "Do not kneel before him!" You see the woman who was going for the first table goes, "He is but an imposter! A terrible plague upon the free peoples of our land!" And the guy dressed as Warren turns and goes, "San Taldore!" As his beard kind of loosely comes off, at one point he slaps it back onto his chin. "Indeed, I will free the great peoples of this land, and you will be nothing but a dark echo in the annals of history." He goes, "Then, show me your strength." And he pulls his blade out, and she goes, and pulls her blade out, and you can see kind of whoa, 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 in a place. The orc on the counter gets down below and pulls out a quick fiddle from behind and starts like fiddling along with it. The two start going ting, 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 ting in a circle, just the most awkward, repetitive, non-dangerous swinging of blades in a big circle in the middle. He's got a couple of crawler gang members in full guy are like, "Stab it in the throat!" And the guy's like, "Cut off his balls!" And they're just like, ting, ting, cling. He knocks the blade out of her hand. And it falls to the ground and cling, 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 cling. And everyone's like, and someone goes, "I've seen this before," and just has a big swig. On the ground, she looks and puts her eyes up, and you watch as one of the baubles in the ceiling begins to glow a beam of light upon her face. The spotlight that kicks in. They're on the Nude Day performance they're doing now, the melodrama at noon. Looks up. But the great prime deities, give your blessings upon me, so I might guide the free peoples to true freedom. As King Drasig pulls his blade up, and then the fiddle stops, and another crank behind the counter begins to turn, and you hear this like crackling sound of voices going, and the squeaking of a ratchet as another sword is lowered on a rope from the ceiling. Grabs the sword, looks at it as King Drasig is slowly recoiling, pulling his blade back, going, "No!" She pulls the blade from the rope, which takes a second to kind of pull it free safely before turning around and very slowly bringing it to his throat and kind of touching it there. And he goes, "Oh! Oh!"
I'll transfer suffering and take half the damage.
Good on you. He slaps his hand to his neck and then pulls it away, and there's just like a smattering of some sort of like red condiment.
Recognizes.
It seems you are indeed the chosen king.
And he falls to the
Lord
ground.
Hanuman.
And she looks at her blade and looks at him.
Lord Hanuman.
"I am no king. I am a sovereign." And there's this awkward pause.
You've seen this before?
Oh yeah, they have not changed the script one iota. I almost kind of missed this, actually.
Does it get better or worse with the rewatch?
Oh, so much worse and so much better at the same time.
I love the theater.
They both stand up. They grab each other's hands and give a bow, and you can see, like, in their faces, they're just soulless at this point. This is probably the 600th time they've done this, and they know you don't care. And they finish. They turn around and they go back to serving the tables they've been assigned. As Erevan the Rhyme Lord goes back and like checks his makeup in the mirror and comes back.
Ah, what else do you need from the Rhyme Lord?
I checked the ball a little bit ago. Is the ball fine? Anything moving on it yet?
No shifting.
No shifting. Okay. We still have time.
So soft for this place.
Do you have any specials on the cocktail menu right now? Something seasonal, my lord?
Let me check. And he goes back to the bar and comes back for a second. There is the Winter's Crest mixer. If you would like something with a bit more of a to it.
I'm feeling festive.
How far off from the time frame of Winter's Crest are we at this point?
Oh, you are in Cyan Star the 14th, so you're the equivalent of like October. You're a few months away from even that even being a thing.
Earlier and earlier every year.
Winter's Crest crawl, yeah. It's always Winter's Crest somewhere.
Is that what you want?
Oh, yes, please.
All right.
Darts off.
As amazing as that was, I kind of want to hear more about this parent connection.
Yes,
restaurant's very distracting.
It's incredible, though. I really just love it here.
He's popping camera right through us, too.
Well,
I'll just do the word search here on the menu to give you guys some privacy.
So, what did you do with them? Do you know?
I just have a lot of fleeting impressions of being so lost. I think I was probably before I went to the Feywild too. And then being found and having people to help me navigate that world. Because it's terrible and beautiful. Right?
Yeah. What were they like?
They were very sweet. Do you remember them at all?
A little bit. I was very young when they left, and they left me with my grandmother to keep me safe, but...
Is your grandmother?
Mm-hmm. She lives there, and she's my best friend, and they left because they had to do something very important. I don't know what it was, but I've been looking for them. So, this feels like something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know that you all have your business to take care of, but I mean, maybe on the way, we can help each other find them.
Speaking of the business that we are on, to get you up to speed a little bit, the man we are chasing had some dubious dealings with entities from the Fey realm. He worked with this, creepy but kind of svelte man called the Nightmare King, and...
like a shoelace.
Yes, a little piece of Alfredo. And then we followed that trail, and it led us to the Shade Mother. Yes, and they were all like, ooh, Shade Mother, we love you, we worship you. And she was like this big, half woman, half slug. which part was the woman and which part was the slut? Excellent question. I should have specified. The top half was the woman, the back half was the slut.
So by percentage, though, it was more like, 20, 80.
Yeah, a lot more bug than woman. This is really far away, too. We actually just rolled into town, so this happened a long ship ride back.
Those gentlemen who were chasing you, Dusk, they were bad, right?
Assume so.
It's a fine assumption in this place. This is not the safest place that you can imagine. There's a lot of conflicting needs and affiliations.
And they dropped you, right? Inside job.
Sigo en vivo. Sí. Por lo mismo de la recarga, ¿no?
Y estoy con pila, entonces no necesito electricidad. ¿Sales un tour?
Makuro. Lucifer. Ahí vamos. Entonces, ¿qué pasó, Makuro? Miau, 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 miau. Makuro es muy de el show. Sí, ¿verdad? ¿Qué? Voy a mostrarles las... ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no quieres que les muestre? ¿Eh? ¿Por qué? Ay, qué chillona gatona. Bueno, ¿les puedo mostrar a la gente lo que quiero o no me vas a dejar? Las bolsas de ropa. Ropa limpia, ropa de niños, ropa de muchachas. Voy a tener que subir este tubo porque es demasiado pequeño para mis túnicas. Entonces tengo que ir al mercado y comprar de estas para colocarlas como por aquí. Y aquí va a estar mi ropa. No sé, creo que era para ropa de niños, yo creo. O gente chiquita. ¿Verdad, Macro? Bueno. Claro, para que los niños pudieran lavar. Es que aquí quisieron los niños, finalmente. Es su casa, ¿no? De los niños. Bueno, esto ya. Primera bolsa de basura que sale del cuarto de mi hermana. Ya está agarrando. Ya este rincón ya quedó. Eso lo voy a pintar. Pero este rincón ya más o menos quedó. Ahorita un poquito más de eso y listo. Ahí vamos, chicos, ahí vamos. Una hora. Pues a ver cuánta... Pregunta, a ver cuánto alcanza la pila o no. Lo sensato sería, aquí acabamos este episodio y nos vemos en el próximo de Homecoming, parte 3. Chao.